Welcome, brave souls. If you love mystery, horror, and the unknown, make sure to subscribe and like this video. It keeps the darkness whispering more secrets. Now, turn off the lights, take a deep breath, and let's dive into today's chilling story.
Have you ever bought something from an antique shop and felt a strange pull, as if it had a story to tell? For Emma, that story turned into a living nightmare. It all started with an ornate, silver-framed mirror. It looked innocent enough, tucked away in the dusty corner of a forgotten shop, its glass clouded with age. Emma, a lover of all things vintage, felt an immediate connection to it. She bought it without a second thought, imagining it would add a touch of old-world charm to her modern apartment. She hung it in her bedroom, right across from her bed. The first few days were normal. It was just a mirror reflecting her room, her life. But then the strangeness began. It was subtle at first. She'd glance at it before bed, tired after a long day, and her reflection would be smiling. A wide, serene smile. She'd stop, confused, and look again. Her own face was neutral, tired. She'd shake her head, blaming it on exhaustion, on her mind playing tricks on her. "I'm just seeing things," she'd mutter to herself, pulling the covers up to her chin. But it kept happening, night after night. She would be frowning, thinking about a problem at work, and her reflection would be grinning from ear to ear. She started to feel a prickle of fear. Was she losing her mind? She tried to test it. She'd stand in front of the mirror, deliberately making a sad face. For a moment, her reflection would mimic her, but then, slowly, a smile would creep onto its lips. It was a cold, knowing smile that didn't reach its eyes. Those eyes, they just stared, vacant and dark. The feeling of being watched became constant. The air in her apartment grew heavy, oppressive. She couldn't sleep. She'd lie in bed, her back to the mirror, feeling its gaze on her. One night, a week after she brought it home, she was jolted awake by a sound. It was a faint whisper, like the rustle of dry leaves. It seemed to come from right beside her ear. Emma, ... double quotes. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She froze, too terrified to move, too terrified to even breathe. The voice was hers, but it was different. It was hollow, thin, and it came from the direction of the mirror. She spent the rest of the night huddled under her blankets, waiting for the sun. As soon as the first rays of dawn pierced through her window, she scrambled out of bed. She needed to prove she wasn't crazy. With a trembling hand, she picked up her phone and shone its flashlight onto the mirror's surface. Her breath caught in her throat. There, on the inside of the glass, were fingerprints, smudged and distinct, as if someone had pressed their hand against it, ... from the other side. That was it. This wasn't her imagination. The mirror wasn't just reflecting, it was containing something. Something that looked like her, but wasn't her. The fear now was a living thing coiling in her stomach. She tried to cover the mirror with a sheet, but she couldn't bring herself to touch it. every time she looked at it, she felt a profound, chilling sense of wrongness. The smile of her reflection had changed too. It was no longer serene. It was predatory. She started noticing more movement. When she'd turn her head away for just a second, she'd catch a flicker of motion in her peripheral vision. She'd snap her head back, but the reflection would be still, smiling that terrible smile. But she knew. She knew it was moving. It was getting closer to the surface of the glass, its form becoming more solid, more real. The barrier between her world and it was thinning. One evening, she was in the kitchen making dinner, deliberately keeping her back to the bedroom. She heard a soft thud. It sounded like a footstep on her wooden floor. She told herself it was the building settling, the neighbors upstairs. But then she heard another and another, slow, deliberate steps coming from her bedroom, coming towards the kitchen. She grabbed a knife from the counter, her hand shaking so badly she could barely hold it. She peered around the corner of the doorway. The mirror in her bedroom was empty. It reflected the wall, her bed, the window, but not her. Her reflection was gone. And then she saw it. Standing in the shadows of the hallway, just outside her bedroom door. It was her face, her hair, her clothes. But its eyes were black voids, and its smile was a grotesque slash across its face. It took a step forward, its head tilted at an unnatural angle. It was out. The thing from the mirror was out. "I just wanted to see," it whispered, its voice a dry, rasping echo of her own. "I've been watching you live your life for so long, Emma. Now, it's my turn." It took another step, the kitchen knife in its hand, glinting in the dim light. Emma was trapped. She had brought this thing into her home, into her life. She had stared into the abyss, and now the abyss had not only stared back, it had crossed over, and it was wearing her face. What happens when your own reflection decides it wants your life more than you do? The story of Emma and her mirror is a chilling reminder to be careful what you bring into your homes. Some objects have a past, a history soaked in emotions we can't understand. If you've ever had a creepy experience with an antique or an old object, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Stay safe out there, and maybe think twice the next time you look in the mirror. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next dive into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious and question everything.